Hi everyone, I'm going to be talking about the death of generic searches today. So if we cast our minds back to the product adoption curve, you've got your innovators, really eager to try something new, probably problem aware but not solution aware. You've then got your early majority, which is kind of where most people see their peaks or spikes of product sales. And then you've got your laggards, they're skeptical, they need reviews, they need testimonials, they need other people to refer them to your product in order for them to buy. So how does this impact or relate to search queries? So if we look at this smartphone example, the first iPhone, the iPhone, was released in June 2007. And if you look at search terms smartphones, we only see this really start to pick up a year later, come August, September 2008. So what we see is the interest increases, but then it starts to decrease 5 years later. So if we see come January 2013, a massive drop down and kind of a trend going downwards since then. Now, in comparison, what happens to the brand term? So that was generic, now this is brand. If we look at iPhone, starts to really pick up kind of June 2008 and then spirals up and has continued to kind of stay consistent throughout the years. Now, comparing smartphone to iPhone, 93 on average compared to less than 1 in September 2019. So we see a real kind of takeover of brand vs generic. Now, if we relate your search terms generic and brand back to the product adoption curve, what people will start to do if your product is new to the market and people, the innovators want to buy the product, they'll start with the generic terms, so smartphones. Then they'll move to best smartphones. And that's when brand really kicks in. And not only brand, but if we look at the late majority, model plus brand kicks in. So buy iPhone X, or supplier or deals related, promotion related searches come into play. So best iPhone X deals. So what does that mean? Well, when we think about on the digital landscape, then we really need to adapt our strategies dependent on the business goal and move away from this idea of, generic searches in my account, they've really died off. What can I do about it? Well, let's think about if you're release a product or release a service and people are problem aware but not solution aware. This is when we kind of relate back to native, cold display, cold Facebook to make people aware of the supplier that can feed into their problem or solve their problem. When the kind of market matures in terms of your product market or your solution market matures, then you can kind of introduce everything. So, search, remarketing, Facebook and display. And when you've kind of saturated that market, then it's kind of new market, new product and stuff, right? Growing. So it's important to understand the following. At what stage is the product in the product innovation cycle? Are people completely unaware? Are they problem aware? Are they solution aware? Supplier aware even? And what strategy do you use to tie this together? You will experience a slowdown in generic searches as your product matures in the product adoption curve, and that's okay, and that's where we see brands start to take over. But how are you going to leverage your brand when you're getting into a mature product innovation cycle? Where and when to change or upweigh the strategy based on this as well. So it's really important to understand this, not only about the clients, but about your own products that you're advertising for. Thank you very much.